it's Warrior Wednesday and it's day 162. Today we are going to have lots of fun because we're going to be thinking like a scientist. And today we have a very fun experiment for you to try with very simple ingredients at home that you'll probably find in your kitchen with the help of a grown-up. It's called Volcano in a Jar. But first, let's start off our episode with 5 Little Flowers. Do you know the song 5 Little Pumpkins? I love that song. Well, we're going to take that song and use it for this version of 5 Little Flowers. It's springtime, and we know that in spring, flowers bloom. So first, let's double check and make sure that I have 5 flowers. Count them. Now say the colors. Good. Keep those colors in mind when we go to sing it. I'm going to sing the whole thing first, and then you're going to sing after me. Ready? 5 little flowers growing in a row. The first one said, I'm purple, you know. The second one said, I'm pink as pink can be. The third one said, I'm blue like the sea. The fourth one said, I'm a very red fellow. The fifth one said, my color is yellow. Then out came the sun, big and bright, and the 5 little flowers smiled in delight. Ready? We're going to take it step by step. I sing, you sing. Ready? 5 little flowers. 5 little flowers growing in a row. The first one said, I'm purple, you know. The second one said, I'm pink as pink can be. The third one said, I'm blue like the sea. The fourth one said, I'm a very red fellow. The fifth one said, my color is yellow. Then out came the sun, big and bright. And the 5 little flowers smiled in delight. Now on Monday, I mentioned that this week we're going to be thinking about our moms because on Sunday it's going to be Mother's Day. So this might be a fun way to celebrate your mom on Sunday because moms love flowers. I love flowers. And if you can't go to the store and buy flowers, you can certainly draw a picture of 5 little flowers and sing her this song. We will practice the song again tomorrow so you get really, really good at it. But remember to keep it a surprise. I know it might be hard because maybe mom is in the kitchen or in the living room watching this lesson, but we'll keep it a surprise while you practice. Maybe you can get your siblings together if you have siblings at home and join together and sing this song. We're going to take a little break from phonemic awareness, but I do want to take some time to work on some tricky words. Remember the letter Y and how we talked about how that letter Y can be so tricky? Yeah, when it's combined with an A, what sound does it make? A-Y says A, but the Y doesn't make a sound. It makes that A say A. We also learned that words with Y that make the long E sound at the end of a word, such as baby and party and mommy. Well, guess what? You're not going to believe this. This Y is so tricky that not only does it make the A say A, and not only does it make the long E sound, but also makes some words make the long I sound at the end of words. I know, absolutely amazing that this letter Y tries to trick us, but we're going to use our knowledge of letters and sounds to help us figure this out. Let's take a look at the first word. My, you read it. Let's try this one. I, read it, cry. This is an R blend. I, cry. This is another R blend with a T. I, try. Try this one. by. Good. Get your mouth ready to read this digraph. Sh, I, shy. Good. Sk, I. Read it. Sky. Okay, try this blend. Sp, I, spy. Ready? Full, I, fly. Okay, we have more blends here. Ready, friends? Dr, I, dry. Sl, I, sly. This is a challenge word. It's the month of one of the months in our calendar. It's July. You try it. And the last one is why. Tomorrow we're going to practice these words again, and we're going to go through them column by column, and we might even try spelling them. Well, let's get ready to think like a scientist. Are you ready? Today we're going to make a volcano in a jar. But first of all, I must say to you that this volcano is not going to explode. It's actually going to be contained in a jar. So if you're thinking this is going to be an explosive and super messy experiment, never fear, because Mrs. Watkins is here. The Warrior Crew and I are going to show you step by step what you're going to do for the next part. Be sure to always use safety rules when experimenting and always have the help of a grown-up. For this experiment, this is what you're going to need. 1 bottle or jar, 1 cup of room temperature water, which means the water won't be too hot or too cold, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, salt, and of course, food coloring. The food coloring is optional. Today, the Warrior Crew and I are going to show you how we make a volcano in a jar. We've got our surface prepped already in the kitchen. We've got our ads down to protect our surfaces. We have our ingredients. You're going to need room temperature water, which means it's not going to be too hot or too cold. Today, Mayana and Lee are each going to make their own. So Mayana will be doing hers in this jar, and Lee will be doing his in this jar. The first step is going to be to make sure, like I said, that your water is room temperature. Next, you're going to add a couple of drops of food coloring. This step is optional. You don't need to do this, but it is fun to make your volcano very colorful. So Mayana and Lee are each going to put in their drops of food coloring. And a little bit goes a long way, so you're going to want to do maybe 2 drops. They each chose warrior colors. Check it out, friends. Red and
blue.
Okay, so the next step is we're going to be adding 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. You might see that your parents at home or family members have these measuring cups. Make sure that with their help, you fill it up to where it says 1/4. So 1/4 looks like this. It has a 1 on top of a 4, which means 4 of these measurements would fill all the way up to 1 entire cup. So 1/4 cup of oil. Now when you do this step, you're going to start noticing that water and oil are immiscible, which means that they don't mix. So let's see what happens when they do this step. Okay, we've already pre-poured it. Go ahead. Pour it into the jar.
A lava lamp. Now it's starting. Well, actually, you know, like those jar things that I have. Like they look like that. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna bring it in close so you can start seeing that the oil is floating at the top of the jar, and the water, because it's less dense, is more dense, is actually to the top. Do you want to show them up close the blue one? Check it out, friends. Do you see how oil and water don't mix? So oil is less dense than water. Can you say that with us? Let's say it together. Oil is less dense than water. That is why it's not mixing and it's floating on top of the surface. Now, this particular volcano in a jar isn't going to explode, but rather we are going to be taking close attention to the details that happen when we sprinkle the salt. So that's the next step. We're going to sprinkle some salt in each of the jars, and then we're going to make some observations.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay, so let's show you up close.
It's like a lava lamp. Yeah. It's making like bubbles.
Kids, what do you observe is happening? Go ahead.
It's like a lava lamp. Because like, it's making bubbles. The bubbles are
It's having a chemical reaction.
Yeah, and it's like evolving kind of. Like,
so
the
salt
fell down.
Yes, the salt is sinking to the bottom. So salt is denser than water. Let's say that together. Salt is denser than water. Let's see what happens when Mayana pours salt into her jar. We're going to bring you up a little bit closer here, Mayana.
Tell me when to stop.
Come on over. Go ahead. Just sprinkle it and see what happens.
Tell me when to stop, okay?
Let's see.
Ooh, cool.
Keep going. Let's add a little more to this one. Okay, stop.
Can they have a little more?
Check this out, friends. Do you see the chemical reaction?
Are we going to mix it?
Actually, we're not going to be mixing this today. That's a really important question. I'm glad you asked it. If you notice, the salt is having a chemical reaction to the oil and the water. It is bubbling up. It's creating small mountains at the bottom. And then if we were to add more salt, let's see what happens. Go ahead. This is definitely something you're going to need the help of a grown-up to do. And take it nice and slow. Stop. And then you can see the reactions that are happening in our volcano in the jar.
I thought it was going to explode, actually.
Yeah, this one doesn't explode. It's just a way to understand density. Last week we learned about density with our sink or float experiment, and today we're learning about density with our volcano in the jar. We hope you enjoyed this experiment and try it. Again, safety is our #1 rule, so be sure to be safe and have fun. Take it slow and make sure that you do your best to follow the directions and make some fun observations today with our science exploration. In today's episode, we learned a brand new song called 5 Little Flowers. I want to encourage you to draw this picture with the colors and be ready to perform for your moms on Sunday for Mother's Day. We also learned another way that this letter Y is not going to get the best of us, because now we know that the letter Y also makes the long I sound at the end of some words. I hope that you will try the volcano in a jar. Wasn't that cool? The recipe doesn't exactly say how much salt to use, so that's something that I will leave up to you and your families. Again, these are the ingredients that you're going to need in case you need to see it one more time. I look forward to seeing pictures and updates about your exploration time, and be sure to make some observations. If you'd like to extend this activity, you can always go back to your journal and write some observations down, because we know that scientists have to make observations. I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your day. It's my favorite day of the week, Warrior Wednesday, so I can't wait to check in with my class. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Continue to stay strong and learn something new each and every day.